it's up to us, but I don't remember seeing notification to the abutters on this, and
that's
the only
on
one,
that's on the cable.
the cable, yes.
So I asked for copies of the abutters notices, and they told me that they couldn't produce them because everybody was working from home. So I'll ask
Well, I mean,
next time.
it's after the fact. The only one I'm concerned about, I don't see anything. The only one I'm concerned about is that they notify Mass DCR, who is responsible for the beach, and that it's another one of those things that.
They're not changing anything there.
Well, they're running the cable.
The cable in the ocean is gonna go deeper to 102 feet.
Right, but they're running the guideline cable, you know, they're running a cable like 3 to 4 inches along the beach out to the low water mark. That's what they're gonna use as a guide. It must send off a signal. That's gonna be their guide to where they do the boring from the ground. But it's that cable that I'm just concerned about.
Well, that's part of the Reno project.
Yes.
The Reno submission.
Right.
That hasn't changed.
No, my only concern is that I don't want the Division of Conservation and Recreation, which is responsible for the beach, and apparently wasn't notified in the abutter notification. They own that land down on the beach. And when these guys come in and start rolling that top cable down 3 to 4 inches on the beach, and people start calling up DCR, I don't want them to turn around and say, well, we got approval from the Lynn Conservation Commission, and they weren't notified.
They were not notified in the Reno?
Right. That's what they're saying, right? That they didn't provide any abutter notifications. I couldn't find any in my file.
Oh, she said that at the time we were remote, so she didn't provide them. They were in the files, and then I asked for copies of them. But when I asked for the copies of them, she said they had them. But when I asked for the copies of them, she said that there wasn't anybody in the office to get them, to give them to me.
That doesn't mean it's not done. It's done.
Yeah, well, she's saying it's done.
But
we never saw them.
But I can ask her specifically for the one for DCR. I hadn't asked for that.
Yeah, the only one I'm concerned about is them. Nobody down there.
Yeah. So I can email her tomorrow and ask her.
I don't say that.
You know, if you know how that works, Nelson. If they are supposed to be responsible for well, it's like the parking meters in Revere. DCI got involved in that, and people went crazy. And that's the same thing. I don't want them to come down when this thing is in the middle of, having all that equipment out there and everything else, and they turn around and say, well, Lynn Conservation Commission didn't tell us we had to notify you. So that's my concern, that's all.
So Mary, will our, what month is this? August? So will our September meeting be remote also? Or am I asking you something that's too soon to say?
Oh, I don't know. The way the world is going right now.
I'm actually with her.
So the only reason I'm putting you on the spot is because Nelson and Mike didn't understand that it was remote, so we dragged them down here tonight. I'm happy to have them, and I think it's easy. It was easier and
sure, I will be remote.
And more enjoyable for me to sit here than to sit here alone.
I didn't expect to see you here.
No offense, but I'm not going to.
But I'm thinking that in September I'm not going to have anybody. So
the world is going crazy, and I just feel that if we have to make a decision, I would say it just needs to be a hybrid decision, and most other conservation commissions are doing the same at this point.
So let's. I just want them to be clear that in September I'll send an option, and it will be optional.
Is our meeting going to be on the 21st?
I'm going to try and keep it rigid to our schedule because it gets too crazy when we're trying to move it around.
Okay. That's fine. I just want to let you know I don't think I'll be able to make that meeting.
Oh, I think that I might need you because, right?
You might have to reschedule it.
Then maybe I need to reschedule.
Are Jimmy and Harry going to be available remotely, or are they?
So Mr. Gonzalez, doesn't use the remote.
Oh, there won't be phone, right?
There is phone,
Oh, there is.
but he had said that to
Well, he'll
call
be
in
able
and
to
hold
come
the
in.
phone
It will be-
for a
it will
couple
be a
hours.
great
Sounds
option.
good.
What did Mary say? I didn't.
I'm sorry, Mary, I was talking over you.
No, that's okay. I was just going to say he would be able to have the option because it would be a hybrid option.
Yes. Would Jeremy, does that make a difference or no?
No, I mean, yeah, no, sorry.
Okay,
Don't be
so,
sorry, Jeremy.
Katie?
oh, wait a minute, isn't, the 14th is election, right? Isn't that primary day?
Oh, that could very well be. I'm not even sure. I think it sounds right.
So,
I don't know. I'm not a member.
Are we on social media or
Yes,
live
we
right
are.
now?
yes.
It
Okay.
wouldn't be the 14th anyhow, though.
Morning, Attorney Lamanna.
Morning, Counselor.
Good morning.
Morning.
Pam, how are you?
Good, good. Good to see everyone.
Morning, Pam.
Good morning, Pam.
We're all anxious to get started, huh?
I guess.
Yeah, we're looking for some good news today.
Chairman Jakutis, on the agenda, I forgot to add welcome new members to the board.
I think you had it on there.
Okay.
I think it was on there.
They're on there, Pam.
Yeah, they were on the agenda. Yeah.
That's the second item on the agenda. So you're right on the ball.
Self-loathing comes from parenting, from my parents. Chairman Jakutis, while we wait on Chris, should we, start with 2 then? And then I'll do attendance, if that's okay.
That's fine. And Smitty just texted me that he is being released from the hospital, but he will not make the meeting and he's doing better. You want to start, Pam?
Sure. Let's welcome our new board members. And we will start with Philip Alvarado.
Okay.
Good morning.
Well,
Welcome, Bill.
Thank you.
And then Mary Joyner.
welcome, Mary.
Well, I take this as an honor. I think about Mr. and Mrs. Brown, and I think about Charlie Mitchell and Nanette Law. Thank you very much for this opportunity to serve. Hello, everyone.
Thank you, Mary.
Okay. And I apologize. I've never met you. Would you like to introduce yourself, sir?
Yes, Madam Chair, I apologize as well. My name is John Oladaye, but it's displaying as Ni Atobatele. I just called the city this morning. If it is okay, they can join the meeting. So my name is John Oladaye on Mountain Avenue. So it's a pleasure meeting all of you and being at the meeting.
Thank you. Nice meeting you.
Welcome.
Nice meeting you.
Welcome. And John, whenever you have a chance, if you could send me your email and phone number to add to the board contact list.
I'll certainly do that.
And I'll put my email in the chat.
Okay.
All right. And then, Madam Chair, I'll do the rest of the attendance now.
Yes, roll call, please.
Okay. Arthur Akers.
Here.
Philip Alvarado.
Present.
Chair Jakutis.
Present.
Clerk Edwards. Present. Betty Gonzalez.
Here.
George
Hey, Betty.
Harvey.
Present.
Mary Joyner.
Present.
Carly McLean's on vacation. Barbara Mann.
Here.
John.
Yes, here.
I will get your last name right, but I don't want to mess it up. And Richard Smith is absent. And Joan Noble.
Here.
And our Elder Affairs Director, Chris.
Here.
All right, so why don't we start with Chris? There's a few things under him for updates, the web, some activities in the RFP. Chris, it's all yours.
Thank you, Diana. So I think I have some pretty good news. I think we're pretty close to having a new location. I think it's trending positively. We had a good meeting yesterday with a lot of people, and I'm going to see a location later on today to see how long it would take to fix and get us in there and the cost. So that might be more of a temporary thing, but it could be permanent as well. And on Friday, we're going to see another place for a walkthrough. I feel really good about these places, and I think it's a good possibility we'll be in somewhere and sooner rather than later. That's how, as far as the senior center location, that's pretty much it, what we have going on now, but it's a lot better than our last meeting. We have a lot of promise now and a lot of potential. So hopefully it goes well this week and we'll be in the place soon. What else? So the fans have been purchased, and I'll be getting the fans soon to distribute to all the seniors, the senior housing, and whatever seniors actually need it. You can feel free to contact me and anyone in general. It's a rather large amount, so anyone you know in need, the box fans, they're free. A grant I got for the city, and yeah, feel free to contact me if you know anyone. We'll deliver. We'll do what we have to do. Yeah, and then so I have two events coming up. When I have more of the details, I'll give them out to you. But they're gonna be big events. I'm sure the seniors are gonna love it. And within a couple weeks, I'll be throwing out the dates and the information for everyone. Oh, and September 7th, we're gonna meet with Chris Gator for the senior the tax work-off program. So if you guys have any ideas or any thoughts, feel free to reach out to me before. so I can convey them over to Chris. But I want to see if you guys would rather have that in person or through Zoom, whatever you guys feel more comfortable with, we can do. Any questions, any thoughts, ideas?
What, is there a contact number?
For me?
Yep.
Yeah, I'll put it in the chat.
Okay.
Chris, I have one. I know you've been working with updating the web for the city. How are we doing with that?
Yeah, me and Michelle have reached out to the webmaster a bunch of times. I called yesterday and I spoke to Makisha earlier this week. So I really don't know like what's the holdup or what's going on. But yesterday I called and earlier this week and everything. I don't know what's going on with them. We're gonna have to do something because every month and it's kind of staying the same. So I don't know. It's because some confusion because Michael Cole left, but I'm gonna talk to Michelle again about it and see if she can talk to someone else or something can be done.
I'm going to ask Attorney Lamanna. Are you there still?
Yes, I'm here.
What is the process? Because Chris has been trying this for 3 months now, and we're not getting anywhere with the webmaster. Is there anything else we can do besides contacting the mayor's office and contacting them? This is just getting to the point where it's kind of getting a little ridiculous, where we're trying to update what's going on Council of Aging, and we can't get any updates. And
I'm on a list of a handful of people that are authorized to sign off on a change on the website. So I'll work with Chris today and tomorrow. Obviously, the mayor's office has a lot of issues that come up on a daily basis, and there has been some changes in the mayor's office, it's staff-wise. So I'll work with Chris and Michelle. But for meeting notices and the like, there's no. I have the authority to green light changes, so I will be working with Chris and Michelle the next day or two, and I don't see any reason why that shouldn't the changes be made this week. Just at least with the names of the board members and a new design going forward with Chris being the lead.
thank you so much for doing that.
I wanted to say as well, I'm taking over the Senior Center's Facebook page. So I'm in the process of doing all that as well. So soon you guys will see more updates through the Facebook page and more activity through there as well.
Good news, Chris.
Thank you.
Anybody have any questions for Chris?
I do. Chris, I know that an RFP went out for a purchase of a property. Are these locations that you're looking at already buildings on them, or is this property?
Yeah, there's they're already built. The one I'm seeing today is already the location. It needs, I would say, minor work. And then the other location, yeah, they're already buildings. But I think it's kind of the possibility of buying something is there now, I would think, than how it wasn't before. So we've had meetings quite frequently, and I think it's a big priority for the city that the senior center were there sooner rather than later.
Is the RFP still out there for property, though, to buy property?
The RFP expired. There would have to be a new one to go out.
I see. Okay.
Jim would have a better grasp of that, but that's pretty much it. We would have to make another one before we move into any place.
Okay.
If I may, for a temporary location, we have a cap of $35,000 before it has to go out to bid. So one of the things that Diana, the mayor's office, Chris, Michelle, the CFO, our city planner are doing is looking for locations that are ready immediately. What the build out would be. Obviously, it has to be an ADA compliant bathroom. Some may require some renovation. So Chris and Michelle, as I said, chairperson Jakutis, have been visiting numerous locations over the last month. So that would require an RFP There's also an ability under the law, similar to what happened with our relationship with GLIS, contractual arrangements with nonprofit organizations that also would not require an RFP. So we're looking at those options for temporary/permanent locations. As Chris indicated, there are 4 or 5 locations that are hot on the fire that would fit into negotiations and a discussion to build out. Timeline is also an important factor to make sure that we're able to line up contractors to make bathrooms ADA compliant if there needs to be some work on the kitchens and the like. And those are things that are going to be happening today, tomorrow, Friday. As Chris indicated, this is a major priority for the mayor, the council, for the elder director, the health director, the CFO, and our city planner.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody have any other questions?
I have a question for Chris.
Yep.
So Chris, I'm just curious. I know that we've been talking about events, and I was just wondering, have you reached out to any other like senior centers to get some kind of ideas on how they're dealing with like this COVID crisis and how they're doing their events, and maybe just get some ideas about how they're doing it?
Yeah, we have meetings every 2 weeks with all the other senior centers, the regional senior centers, and every city is kind of different because their numbers fluctuate or more or less than ours. So some cities aren't even open. The senior centers are still closed. And some do limited capacity. Some, it all depends on your city and how the COVID numbers are. As you know, in Lynn, we're usually generally on the higher end of all the cities around this area, which is a concern of mine, especially with the Delta variant now and new restrictions coming back. But that being said, I am planning an outdoor event, which right now seems like the only thing we could really do, an outdoor event. And it'll be very soon, very, very soon. I'll be emailing all of you and letting you know what we're going to do. But first of all, is the safety of all you guys. I worry about that. And that's, our number one thing. But I know we all want to get together and do something. And I do too. I mean, the cookout was really fun. So something very soon, I'll be hitting the information out there.
Yeah, I just know of some of the seniors that have been visiting, like Peabody, and they were kind of impressed with how they were doing over there. So I didn't know if if you were visiting these sites to see what was they doing, what were their ideas. Maybe you can get some ideas as well about how things might.
Most definitely, I'm welcome to all ideas. I mean, for us, it's a little different. We don't have a senior center or anything that like a base that I could just work out of, or else we'd
no.
But definitely, I'm open to anything.
Ideas of what your vision might be for our senior center too. I mean, if you get to look at some of the other centers, you can see, pick and choose some ideas what you would like.
Yeah,
that would make sense for us.
When I first got the position, I went and I visited about 3 to 4 of the other senior centers closer to here to get a feel and a look and ideas. And I think once we have our place, even the temporary place, we'll be up and running and doing a lot more things, most definitely.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Question for Chris. Is it possible that the committee has access to a picture of these locations so that we can see what's going on, or have a judgment or do an assessment of how these locations look like? Is it possible?
Right now, everything is kind of on the hush. When I can give you guys the pictures, I will. When I have the freedom to do it, but as of right now, I can't. Some things have to be kept, like as a secret almost. But once I am able to give you guys the pictures, I will.
My follow-up question is, what is the timeline that these locations are going to be available or be ready so that
Well, today that's one of the things I'm doing. We're going to see it, the place, and Michael will be able to tell me more of a timeline of how much time it will take to fix and get ADA compliant. So after today, I'll have a better idea of one of the potential places, and then the place we see on Friday. After Friday, maybe we'll have a better idea on that place as well.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
He's not keeping it a secret. Some of these places, one place we're going to on Friday, is just being purchased by somebody. So this building, nobody knows, is being sold. So they don't want people to know what's going on. They actually was able to approach us. I went in and looked at the building, thought it was great. Told Michelle and Chris, spoke with the gentleman. They're signing a purchase and sales this week, so I can get Chris and Michelle into the building to look at it. So we really can't disclose the location yet until the property owner actually owns the building outright. So we're not trying to hide anything from anybody. It's a difficult time. We can't disclose certain information. If we don't have a contract signed, people don't want us to say we're going to be here if we don't have something signed yet. So we are working on it, and hopefully in a few days, we will be able to reach out to everybody and say, these are 2 potential sites that we're looking at, and show you pictures and see what your insight is on them. So I hope everyone understands that. I'm not trying to keep this a secret from anybody. Does anybody have any other questions for us? Like I said, we did the new board members, so why don't we skip to Joe Noble, to the Friends, for her report.
Yes, thank you. But because we have no senior center yet, it's difficult, and I have no report. A couple of people have reached out to me and offered their assistance once we're up and running. So I'm feeling very good about the Friends and what we can do for the new senior center. So thank you.
Thank you, Joe.
And Chris, I'm available anytime.
Thank you, Joan. I appreciate it so much.
Okay.
Does anybody have any questions for Joan? All right.
No.
I'll let Pam introduce our next guest coming in. Are you there, Pam?
Yes, I'm here. The city's new Equity Inclusion Officer, Faustina Suarez, Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, reached out and asked if she could present today at the COA meeting to tell us what her role is with the city and how she would like to work with us. Welcome, Faustina.
Thank you, Pam, and thanks everyone for letting me crash your meeting. I'm already learning a lot, so thank you for letting me be here. As Pam said, my name is Faustina Cuevas. I am the new Diversity, Equity, Inclusion Officer for the city of Lynn. I am housed in the mayor's office. I've been here a little over 2 months already, so I'm gonna play the new card as long as I can and as long as I'm allowed to. But I really wanted to come to this group because our seniors and our community mean a lot to me. And when we think about equity, we also have to think about our seniors and our seniors getting what they need and really prioritizing that as well, just given the demographics of our seniors in Lynn. So I just wanted to let you all know that I'm a resource and that I'm here. Like I said, I'm in the mayor's office. I'm working on a few things that I think would tremendously benefit all of you as well. I've been the website, I'm glad that people mentioned the website. Unfortunately, because Mayor McGee's not running for re-election, I will have to wait to pitch the website to our new mayor come January, but it's on the top of my list. I don't think the website is user friendly. And again, that's an access issue. And I have, that's a problem for me. So, and I know it's a problem for a lot of you. And I get calls all the time, people trying to find things on the website, and people get lost in there. So that's something that's on the top of my priority list. So I'm glad that people already mentioned it on here. And I'm sorry that it's taking so long to get what you need on the website, but hopefully we can really look at that under a new administration. Language is another big thing for me, language access. We have so many different languages in Lynn, and it's how do we make sure, especially when thinking about our seniors, that you get the information you need in your native language, right? And not only that you get it in your native language, but that you get it in a timely fashion. So that's something that I'm really passionate about as well. And I'm looking at language access and looking at other cities and what they're doing, and different, communities are doing different things because their demographics are all very different. But in Lynn, we're over 100,000. The census is already showing we're over 100,000. We're the biggest municipality in the North Shore. We are majority Spanish speaking. So there's so many things that we need to be thinking about who we are as a community, and celebrating that, right? And elevating the things that we're all doing. So another thing that I'm really passionate about is event planning. So actually the event that Chris is trying to plan, I offered to help with that. So I hopefully will be helping Chris with that event that he's trying to do for all of you. And so that, hopefully with masks on, we can say hello and you can see me in person. And then there's actually an event this upcoming Sunday outdoors at Red Rock Park from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. And it's called Diversity Matters Festival. And there's going to be music and food. And it's basically just celebrating all cultural diversity in Lynn. And we invite everyone to attend and come indulge in some yummy treats and come meet some vendors that are going to be selling some things. And I'll drop the flyers in the chat, and I'll also drop my email and my phone number in the chat. I welcome any questions that you have.
So that's this Sunday at Red Rock? It's this
Sunday, yeah. Red Rock Park, 3 to 7. There's going to be food, music, all the things. I will go ahead and drop the flyers in the chat. But yeah, save the date. Would love to see some of you there, and it should be a fun event. It's the last few days of summer, so we need to try to have a little bit of fun.
It's a good time now to get the outdoor events going, because we don't have much more time.
Exactly. We literally are running out of time. Not that it hasn't even been that much of a great summer.
Really? Yeah.
July was terrible, so.
What a rain.
So I dropped the flyers in there, but it's Red Rock Park this Sunday, August 29th from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. There's going to be a ton of food. And if you're a foodie like me, there's going to be food from all different types of cultures. So I'm looking forward to eating around the world. So I invite you to come join me and do that. And there's going to be performances. It's going to be really fun. Hopefully the weather will cooperate.
Sounds nice.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I have to try that, yeah.
Does anyone have any other questions? No, nobody has any questions for her? Well, hopefully everyone can get out on Sunday between 3 and 7, go down to Red Rock, introduce yourself. Kelly from Council of Aging, Mass Senior Action. Should love to see everyone down there.
Yeah,
I'm definitely going to try and make that event.
Yay. If you have any questions, feel free to text me or call me or whatever, email, carrier pigeon. I take all the messages, however you want to get it to me.
I think Joan wanted to say something.
What is the parking situation going to be?
For Red Rock Park, it's going to be probably the side streets where the residential areas are. It's probably going to be the closest parking, unfortunately.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Joan.
I have a question for Ms. Faustina.
Yes, hi, John.
Yeah. You were during your presentation, you mentioned something about equity for the senior citizens in the city of Lynn in terms of inclusion. Can you elaborate specifically how the equity is going to benefit the senior citizens in Lynn?
Well, to start, getting you all a place where you can go and gather. And, you know, luckily I've known Chris for a very long time. And I've already told Chris, like, I want to support the work you're doing, collaborate. And for me, it's being in touch with what's going on and not losing sight that when we talk about equity, we need to also think about our senior population here. I was also really happy to see the passing of the new development that's going to be for seniors at the Old Union Hospital. That's something that I was really supportive of, and I was there when it happened, and a lot of you championing it for this. I was like really excited sitting in the back, like, you know. So these are all things that I'm really passionate about. So what I can do is try to be up to date as possible with what you all have going on, but feel free if there's something that you want me to be aware of or you want me to elevate or bring to the mayor's attention. Feel free to email me or call me. I drop my information in the chat. I'm happy. And, you know, I'm one person, so sometimes I might not know everything that's going on. So I invite you to share information with me, especially if it's something time sensitive. I'm happy to really offer myself as a sort of a bridge, right, from all of you to the mayor's office. I want to be sort of that bridge. So feel free to connect with me on anything. Even if it's nothing related to any of this, you just have a different kind of question, I'm happy to chat with you as well about that.
Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you very much for coming today. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, it was very nice.
And join us anytime for any meeting we have. You're more than welcome.
Thank you, Counselor.
Thank you. Anyone have any other questions? No? All right. All right. Well, thank you very much. All right. Pam, I lost my slip here. I don't know what's next.
Upcoming meetings, the logistics, probably with what's going on and the weather change, we might still have to be by Zoom, but it would be up to the board here, the members.
But everyone's more comfortable with. If you're more comfortable with Zoom, that's fine. In person, I have no problem with what anybody wants. Want to take I won't say a vote, but anybody want to do like a roll call and see how people feel if they'd prefer to do Zoom or in person?
All right. This is a roll call. Either say in person or continue by Zoom. Arthur?
Continue by Zoom.
Okay. Phil Alvarado?
Continue by Zoom.
Counselor Jacutis? No vote?
No vote.
Clerk,
Never.
yeah.
For the City Hall
Betty?
Zoom next time.
Betty?
I'm to that room too.
Okay. George Harvey?
I
continue with Zoom.
We come back to the room.
Mary Joyner?
To continue by Zoom.
Barbara Mann?
Continue by Zoom.
John?
I continue by Zoom.
And Joan, I want to hear your opinion.
No, I don't have a vote. I would say Zoom. Thank you.
Okay. All right. I believe it's unanimous, Madam Chair.
We will continue by Zoom, and I have no problem with that. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate your input.
I have
go ahead.
I have a quick question. So, the September 7th meeting for the senior tax work-off, so we'll do it by Zoom then as well. Then.
Yes.
All right.
I would, Chris.
Okay. And if anyone has any questions, like beforehand, in regards to that, they can email them to me, so that way I'll forward them to Chris, and we can be prepared for the meeting as well. Or not even just any questions, maybe some ideas of some senior tax work-off programs they would like to see. That way he could present it to the council or anything that's possible. So yeah, feel free to contact me.
And Chris, will this be about all the exemptions offered to seniors, including the circuit breaker?
I think so. Yeah, Chris he wants it to be like an open dialogue. So, questions and answers and back and forth. Yeah.
Okay.
I just also received a text from Smitty, and he wants Zoom also.
So noted.
Thick or not, he is putting his 2 cents in.
So noted. All right. And then
I have a question, if you don't mind. I was asked from one of the seniors, is there anything now that they could do for volunteer work? She's looking to do something. She's kind of getting a little itchy about hanging around. She wants to do some kind of volunteer. One of the seniors asked me, Ellen Cash, and I told her I'd get back to her if I heard of anything.
Through the city or just in general?
She was asking me, I believe she wanted to do it through the city.
I'll look into it and I'll get back to you. If you can give me her email, I'll call her myself or email her myself. But I'll look into it. I'm sure there is, because I see some seniors here that are working like at the front desk on the 2nd floor and stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that there's something available.
Yeah, she usually joins us on the Friends committee, and right now, and then she'd volunteer down at the senior center as well. So, yeah, she's looking to do something.
Yeah, definitely, we could find something for her to do.
Okay, great, Chris. We'll get her phone number and that for you.
All right, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yep.
Chris, this is Mary Joyner. I have a thought. Could we some way start a phone tree so that we can check on seniors that are alone? Would that be a possibility of something to do? We just check on them and call and say hello and see how they're doing. Could we possibly look into that?
That sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, whoever would want to volunteer, because there are a lot of folks who said to me, they're lonely, no one's checking in. It's a thought, just a phone tree.
It is a good idea, though. The only thing
once a month, that's something to consider.
Yeah, that's a great thought and a great idea. The only thing, the people would have to volunteer their number themselves, because we couldn't just give people.
I hear you. It would be, you could put it out. I hear you.
Yeah.
Because we don't want to be passing people's numbers out without them saying it's okay.
Yeah.
Or we touch base with them via email.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Absolutely.
Oh, that's a good idea, Mary.
Yeah.
Senior isolation is a big issue, especially during the pandemic.
Yes. Yes.
Well, in addition to what Mary said, which is a good idea, if Chris can, if we are gonna go through with this this thoughtful idea from Mary, perhaps Chris, can work with Madam Chair to provide the council members' phone number to the citizen center so that they know who we are, who is calling them, so that they can have that that faith that their phone number is not going to be in the wrong hand. Just like what Chris said, if they are ready to volunteer, but if we can provide them our names, our phone number, and say, these are committee members that's going to be checking up on you, perhaps maybe that's going to give them some faith. What do you think, Madam Chair?
I like the idea. I really like the suggestion that we have. My thing is, we're going to have to get the phone numbers with permission. So we may have to, Chris is working on the Facebook page. So when that's up and running, we could use that. I'm not sure if Mass Senior Action could help us out with getting permission with people with their phone numbers. That's something I'm going to have to sit and talk to Pam and the Board of Mass Senior Action. I think that's a big way of getting information out also.
Okay.
But I like the idea. I think it's great.
Mm-hmm. And I forget, Chris, I apologize. I know this was mentioned. I believe Joan had brought it up. What happened to the senior center database? Okay, so we could start there because people all gave their permission to be contacted when they signed up at the senior center to get their fob key. So that list is already okay.
Yeah, that list is very extensive. It's like about 17,000 people. Yeah.
Right, but we could put it in a database and kind of query it by, first age and then like by zip code and, to break it down so that we could see. And then those with emails, probably wouldn't have to be the first on the phone call. Those without, we could start with. If you don't mind, I can help work on that.
Yeah, that's totally fine with me. I think it's a great idea. Even we could start doing like a social hour, like once a week. We just jump on a Zoom, and it doesn't have to be something so formal. Like we can just all talk and see how you're doing or anything like that. Yeah, it's really what you guys want to do. I'm open to it.
And then I like the Zoom idea, maybe once a week for an hour, but then be able to reach out to the people that don't have access to the internet. So I think
I
that's
have a
good.
question on that list. Have they ever heard names of people who passed or who moved out of the city? If not, then you're going to wind up with probably the 17,000. That's probably why it is.
Yeah,
that might be a little too time consuming too.
It's pretty outdated. It hasn't been updated since like 2018. So a lot of the stuff is pretty old.
Why can't we start a new list? Could we start a new list?
We can start a new list.
We could start a new list. That would cut down all that work. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people may have changed their mind about people having their phone numbers. So we have to probably starting anew would probably be the best thing.
Yeah.
The only thing with that we'd probably miss out on some people that are on the list that want to be part of the new list that we don't know. But we can start off small. It's fine. And we can work our way out. I mean, we all have our own connections with other people. So, once we start with one, we build a tree and it'll keep growing and growing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We could even start an email chain from now, going today forward, and then branch out and keep increasing. And then we can start doing the phone calls and the Zooms.
We could probably use the newspaper too to advertise for people who are interested. They can give their information.
Yeah, and I'll post it on the senior Facebook page once I have the full access to it, and then that'll be another avenue as well.
Chris, can we also put a notice the directors for each senior building? Like, let's say St. Stephen's, if you drop the flyer off to Linda, whether if she posted it and maybe seniors can sign up that way. Some that have not been on the list. I don't know. I'm just thinking of different things.
Definitely. We can. I'll go to all the senior sites myself and drop off.
I'm not saying just St. Stephen's. I mean all the complexes.
Yeah, all of them.
St. Stephen's popped in my head first. So.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, we have a monthly calendar so that if you give her a flyer, she can make copies and put it in the monthly calendar when they hand them out. That's a great idea.
Like Ocean Shores, Easton Ave. There's so many of them that Plaza, St. Mary's, St. Teresa's. So I'm missing a lot of them. I don't want to leave any out, but there's still a lot more to.
Yeah.
But no, good suggestions, everybody. All right, so let's see. What do we have next? We have any.
We've kind of went on to the new and old business, part of it, without saying that. And I added what we've discussed, the volunteer opportunities, a phone tree, and Chris will work with Pam on the data organization to make it manageable. Our Director of Public Health, Michelle, had asked us to add in vaccination outreach. As part of our discussion today. I think that many of the people that of the Council on Aging Board, I know has all been, but I believe that it's beyond, you know, just like we were talking about reaching seniors maybe that are in their home, that, you know, is there a way that the Council on Aging Board could do something, especially in other languages, maybe work with Chris and Faustina, work together to see what we could do. One thing that came to mind with the group that's working on this is the school committee to set up something like a back to school event that would include parents, grandparents, and, you know, have vaccination opportunities right at those events. Maureen Gately's going to check on that. Sure, go ahead.
So at the end of this month, August 30th, there's a back to school event, and they're going to be giving away backpacks, and they're going to have a vaccination at Lynn Tech. And then
that's great.
I've been in contact with Dr. Tutwiler's office. I'm trying to do like intergenerational programs with the seniors and the kids of the school. So we're going to have a meeting pretty soon. And I think there's a lot of important and cool things that seniors can learn from the kids and the kids from the seniors. Like, you know, there's kids that need people to read to, like kids that are learning to read. Since working on the seniors going there and the kids reading to them. And then the older kids teaching some of the seniors how to use their electronics and their iPads and their iPods and their computers and how to get on Zoom. So we have this in the works as well, which I think would be great for the city and really beneficial for all of us. So that should be coming soon. But there's also a couple other events that there will be like back to school drives and vaccines, and as well as some of the concerns we have now is that there might be a booster shot coming. There might be, you know, might have to get another vaccine and the flu shot. So hopefully we'll have a senior center or a place already by then that you all could come get your flu shots.
Chris, the activities that you have planning down the road that you said some of the event that you're planning, I know a lot of the seniors are vaccinated. Would there be a way to have a vaccination clinic there that day also?
Yeah, most definitely. You know, I work in the public health department, so it's just to talk about with Michelle, and I'm sure she'll be fine. Like at the cookout, we had a vaccine clinic there too. No one really got vaccinated. But
May I ask a question?
Yeah.
Yes.
I want to know if you know like last week the Supreme Court suspended the vaccine. The Supreme Court suspended the vaccine last week.
Hello? No.
Yes. Yes, look around because I see that information. They suspend the vaccine. So yesterday, the day before, Bill Gates announced that they don't know if they are or no a vaccine. The MOS say there is no vaccine. So what is going on? And now you are talking about looking, because I was looking at all those information about the MOS, the Supreme Court, and are on YouTube and everywhere.
All I know on that, in regards to that, is the FDA just approved the Pfizer vaccine. So
no, they know the MOS, the CAP is the one, but how can I prove the new vaccine in 1 week? How can those vaccines have to be approved in 1 week? Don't need any sense. They stop with one and they have to do another one just only 1 week. Don't make any sense. The mascara too.
Betty, I know that, Betty, I believe that you read that, and I believe that you believe that. But what I would like is for Chris to look over the information that you're reading, and then he can provide what the Department of Health has already done. And there was no vaccine approved in 1 week. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
So it took, a lot longer to do that. But Chris, do you have time today to maybe give Betty a call and try to set up a time to go through that information to make sure that we're all on the same page with the correct information?
Yeah, definitely. I'll give Betty a call later on.
Okay, Betty?
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
When I went and got my shot at Lynn Tech, and being that I live on in a senior building, I asked for information because I felt that was important. So for some of the seniors here who no longer drive or having difficulties getting around, to bring the vaccination program to the building. So I submitted all that information to management, and they brought the program here. So everybody in this building had an opportunity to take the vaccine without having to worry about traveling in the cold weather or the rainy weather, or having to worry about trying to get there. And, you know, we had a very successful vaccination program. So,
yeah, I'll say that myself, since I started working here and I've helped with the vaccine clinics, we've gone to just about every senior housing in the city of Lynn that we've been allowed to. And even if you lived in senior housing, they've gone to people's houses. They've done everything on mobile, churches, everything. So we try to make it accessible for everyone. And I think it's very important because seniors are the most vulnerable, as we know, when it comes to COVID. So this is something, you know, going forward that is going to be a part of our life. And we have to continue to get vaccinated as much as we can and mask it up and be safe as we can.
unfortunately, we're facing a lot of misinformation, and that makes it very, very difficult. I'm constantly on Facebook in English and Spanish telling the people, don't listen to politicians. Go listen to the doctors. They're the ones that know better, you know, and get vaccinated. And I think we've seen on the news a couple dying and wishing they had got the vaccine, and now they're leaving 4 kids. You know, we don't want to keep seeing that happen.
Now, Betty did type in something, and if we go through the senior center list, because she wrote seniors, well, how do we contact seniors that are not in housing? So that's another thing, Pam and Chris, when you go through that list, hopefully you can break it down, ones that are not living in senior housing, to get seniors that are still living in their own homes or in an apartment get them out the information also.
And just to clarify, Madam Chair, that was from Rosa Bentley.
Rosa, okay, sorry. Thank you.
Here is her hand up. Speak.
I'm sorry. Oh, yes, go ahead, Madam Chair, you go. I don't know if you can see everybody, though.
I can't. I'm on my iPad. I can't.
Okay. Yes, Faustina.
Okay, thank you so much. I just wanted to sort of elevate the talking point, even what Betty shared, what Philip shared. There's a lot of information, and it's information overload. And sometimes some things are accurate, sometimes it's not accurate. Sometimes you're hearing it from a medical profession, sometimes you're hearing it from someone else. And I'll tell you right now that has been the biggest roadblock to getting us up there with vaccinations. I mean, we're doing fairly good for the size of our community, but we could be doing a lot better. But I'll tell you right now that is the biggest roadblock. I'll give you a quick story. I had a recent business owner who employs people from very different backgrounds, and she was sharing with me that she was struggling because a lot of her staff didn't want to get vaccinated, which is okay, like, you know, your choice, whatever. But what she found interesting is that they didn't want to get vaccinated because they believe it was gonna, it wasn't gonna benefit them, but it was because they were getting so much misinformation, and then they were talking to each other about it, and then like one person would say one thing, so then it's like, why? Well, we're not even on the same page, so I'm definitely not gonna get vaccinated. So I think that you all are on the right track in thinking about how do we educate the community around vaccination, because rolling up and having a vaccination clinic is not going to matter unless you have the information or pamphlets or whatever to educate people as to why they should get it vaccinated. And it should be in multiple languages, at minimum in Spanish and English, but at maximum in Khmer, in Haitian Creole, in Arabic, in Portuguese. We have so many languages in Lynn. I do love the idea of a video that was thrown around and having you all tell your stories about why you got vaccinated and how you got educated. So that's something else to maybe think about. But the education piece is really critical. It won't matter how many vaccine clinics we do or whatever. It's not going to matter unless the education is there to back it up, because it's been a roadblock that I'm hearing, and I'm getting calls about that as well. So I just wanted to elevate those points, and the idea that was floated around education around the vaccine is something that I really want to just say that's a really good idea.
Thank you.
I think that's an excellent statement, because there's so much information and so much misinformation that people are they're afraid too, because they don't know what to think. So I agree with you. Education. Yep.
I have a couple points. If I can say it real quick before I have to go check out this place. So the next event we do, what I'll do is I'll have a login sheet so the people can sign in and leave their number if they want. That way, going forward, we can build this group, and it'll be easier for the ones that are living at home and in the seniors housing. And then about the vaccines, if you guys think it'd be useful, I can set up a vaccine information seminar, in the sense that you seniors can come visit, and we could have maybe the nurses from public health or Michelle speak to you guys on what are the facts the things that we know that are facts going forward. And we can have like a little question and answer seminar as well.
Oh, that sounds great, Chris.
That's a great idea. We just don't want to gear that to seniors, though. We want to open the doors for everyone that's willing to want to educate themselves on the vaccine. I think that's a great idea.
Of course, the numbers tell us that most seniors are vaccinated. The people that are mostly not vaccinated are the younger teenagers and younger adults.
For the younger generation, yeah.
Well, and I think that, with the questions that Betty brought up and what she's reading, she would probably have a target audience too.
Yeah.
To help with that, with facts about the Vax event is what I'm putting in the notes. And Chris, one thing I thought of previously before you have to go, the event with Chris Gator, if we do it by Zoom, that's good. But I know several homeowners that reached out to me that do not Zoom. So I was wondering if maybe we could set up a 2 thing, like a Zoom event with Chris and then one in person.
Yeah, definitely.
If that's okay.
Most definitely. That's why when we spoke about it last time, we want to do it in person because of that. So I already reserved the room here in City Hall for that event. So yeah, we can do it a 2-part series. It's perfectly fine. All right. So let me go check out this location, hopefully for our new senior center. And I hope you guys have a nice week.
So good luck.
Thank you.
See you well, Chris. Thank you for all that you do.
Thank you, Chris.
Bye.
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 All right. And Madam Chair, we have one old business and one new business item that's left. One is there was a motion for the city to bring on Stacy Mincello to help transition Chris into this role, to make sure that all funding and any kind of opportunities that we could receive. And the second item on the agenda would be, because of COVID, it's been a while since the board has seen the Council on Aging budget. And we should start incorporating that into the meeting. And that used to come from the director. So I don't know if Chris is up to that task yet, or if he has help. So
we can, and I'm actually reaching out to Stacy. It's not that the city doesn't want to reach out to Stacy. We don't have a center right now. I'm going to sit down with her, hopefully in the next few weeks, and just go over a few things with her, different things that she has applied for. If there's some grants that she used to apply for that we don't know of. Until he gets settled in a place, I'll sit down. I don't want to overwhelm. They're going crazy right now, actually, like he just had to leave. They're looking at stuff every few days. He's been nonstop, him and Michelle. All of us have, but I am going to reach out to Stacy personally myself and sit down with her, probably in person. And you're more than welcome to sit with me if you want. So,
okay.
And that's where we're at with that. And I will talk to Michelle on the budget, see what it is, see what we have. As Attorney Lamanna said, for the build out, what was it, 35,000, I think we have, depending on what rent is, before we have to do an RFP. So we're working on that stuff too. It's a lot more complicated than you think it is, and we're trying. We are. We want a home for the seniors. I'd love to have them a home, but hopefully sooner than later, as they said. Anybody have any questions?
If I may, being that we want to get the word out, those of us who are involved in the community should talk to our friends and neighbors about, having access to their phone numbers so that for the senior center. Sometimes word of mouth, one-on-one is more effective.
Oh, it definitely is. If you can get people, that would be fine. And let Pam or Chris know, and that way they can start transferring onto a database.
Right.
But if they don't want to give a phone number, an email address, anything will help.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anybody have anything else? We went over everything. Well, I guess we will meet. Well, for those who are doing the work program with Chris, that is September 7th, but I did not get the time. So I'm sure he'll send out a Zoom link for people. And then if not, we'll see everyone at the next meeting. But if we have any information, we will give it to board members. If something comes up, we won't wait till the next meeting. If we find a temporary space, we will let everybody know before the next meeting.
Oh, awesome.
Okay? We won't keep you holding for another month. We will let you know what's going on.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. It was a pleasure to meet you.
Nice meeting you too. Thank you.
Gracias.
I hope they see you again on the meeting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone.
Come on Sunday. Come on Sunday, 3 o'clock park.
Oh, yes.
Three. Okay.
All right. Take it easy,
Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Gracias, Justina.